Hey guys, it's Skyslinger here. And today we are starting something new. It's a game called the Stanley Parable. Now, it may not sound interesting at all, but believe me, I've looked up about it a little bit, and it looks amazing. It looks really fun. I've never actually played it though. This is my first time. No, it's not my first time going on. When I went on here, I was like, oh my god, I gotta turn this to a series. I quit. And then I turned on my recording. Here I am. And, oh wait, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. It's like, it's like an Inception. It's like going on forever. It even has like the scroll. It even has my, I don't know if you guys can see that, like the little, recording FPS thing up there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Whatever. Stanley Parable. Speaking. And just never, the end is never, that's normal.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yes, I'm sure Stanley was.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And here we are, guys. Sorry if you guys didn't hear that story. Your name is Stanley. You don't get messages from your little computer thing. And, yeah. Yeah. And this is a narration-based game, so I'll be talking to the narrator, much less you guys.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So where's the meeting room? No. Yeah, I can open and close obviously the ways that were already open, so of course I can.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, I entered the door on my left. I don't know why I can't. Alright, but I went on my left. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not
Feeling a
getting
wave
fired.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So speak with the coworkers. Let it fall inside you. Take it on passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. And the cycle continues. The broom called it. That's completely useless.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Not a bad office. I like it. Not a bad office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Yeah.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
I don't know.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
No. 284.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
By sheer luck.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. 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 Okay, where am I going? Loading, loading, loading. Loading some more. Almost unloading?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
If you want to go that way, I should probably go that way. What is this?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Come on. What is this place? What is this?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. Lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I shall. Okay, where do I go? I guess I go to Facility Tower. Wait, big. Okay. What?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I see light. I don't know.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And that was amazing. That was awesome. I loved that. That was good. Loading. Why is this taking so long to load? And we're back. Alright guys, if you're wondering why I'm back here, that's because if you're ever in that one room and all across the things you saw different ways I could have gone. Because there are so many different choices that I can make. There's just lots of endings. And the one I chose, I wanted to follow his directions. For the first time, I just wanted to follow his directions through and through. But now...
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy.
What does he even have all
Stanley
this
waited.
stuff?
Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
What? Okay, okay. What? What?
All of his co-workers were gone.
It's different.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What ending? What?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
No.
Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Sorry guys, my battery was running low. Sorry. So sorry guys, my battery, like, that thing, it was like, battery and stuff. No, I want the whiteboard. No! Whiteboard ending! Huh? Why doesn't it work? Whiteboard ending? Why won't you work, whiteboard whiteboard ending. I want the whiteboard ending. That makes me sad. That makes me so sad. Whiteboard ending is awesome.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Is this gonna be the same, or is it gonna be, like, different?
Yet there was not a single person here either.
No?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I'm going to the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, I'm staying in the broom closet. I'm staying.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
Staying.
No reason to still be here.
Staying in the corner. Next to the janitor's bucket.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
Yes.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
He calls me the broom closet. He calls me radioactive rope.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
I don't care.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
What
I
you
never
are
would have
talking?
thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
What? Why? I like broom closets. How do I reach the door from over here?
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Okay.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay. Sure. That sounds reasonable. Okay. So, I'm apparently a new player now, and I was dead. And I was standing in a broom closet. Okay.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Yes, thank
I
you.
guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Sure.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Did I? I can go in here now. Anything to do here? The executive bathroom has opened. That's sort of weird, but whatever. Well, maybe these doors are open now. Oh, they are! Cool. long elevator ride. This must be a tall building. What? Was I just going to listen to music? Can I go down? This up was not working. That was a waste of my time. I don't like elevators that don't work.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Wait a minute. He said it differently. It was minutes before. Did not go wildly turning through papers finding answers.
Stanley jumped, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
Yes,
Stanley happened to
buttons.
input the correct code
That's exactly
by
what
sheer
happens.
luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Guess I did. Down the elevator we go. Loading again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Sounds good.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yes, I'm sure I did.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal
Wait, so there was a
jaws.
narrator for the narrator?
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Whee!
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless. making life the same.
What?
Do you see now? Do you see that
Nature
Stanley was
painting?
already dead from the moment he hit start?
Really? Oh, okay. Stanley's computer. That's my computer. It's the office layout. Oh, yeah. What? It's ridiculous. Corridor. Only something important to get right. The card is removed. All the major players 2 doors at a time. 2 doors. 2 doors of learning copies of his design. Red screen creates the rest of the game. There's additional exploration counting and the past. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Doors. Button noises. Credits. No one reads those. Here. The maintenance room. That we have not seen yet. Printer. And the office. What was it? The screenshot of Stanley Parable HD remixes. Point of Stanley Parable HD remixes win. Point of Stanley Parable HD remixes to lose. More endings, fewer endings, more narratives, fewer narratives, more Stanley, less Stanley. All crazy music in the same larger thing, whatever. What? Stanley would have a battlefield fighting aliens. I'm feeling sort of joking on those it's on the game. Let's say that making fun of people shooters should not are intended. Okay. That actually would have been good. I think I would have liked that. Cool. The office. Why? Why do they have this stuff here? What is this? Apartment timer. A clock. What is this stuff? This is weird. There are your emails. Okay. So I don't understand why all this is here. Stanley's office. 3 copies of it, apparently. Game design mock-up. This is a maze. Freedom ending. Early freedom ending, I guess. Alright, who needs to watch it? I don't think it's really important.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another.
I'm sure they do.
How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
I guess Wolf can exist without on.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
That's true.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Told me to quit, I quit. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button down below. And also, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this, because I will be playing this more, because, you know, there are lots of endings to play, and yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video sometime. Or maybe there won't be any other videos. More videos and less videos. More Skyslinger and less Skyslinger. Stanley Parable style. Skyslinger